Real estate was a bet that I did that time. Very risky.
Grit, passion, and perseverance for a very, very, very long time. The perseverance of something to reach your goal day in and day out.
A lot of emotions you have in this business.
Right.
Today you close big deal,
Right.
and you are the best, and you feel great, and you go home, smile on the face while you're driving. And the other day, you have a lot of bad news, disaster.
That day I ended up doing like 32 calls, I think. Every single one was rejection, but not just rejection, but like agents are sleazy.
Well,
I don't
here
like
we do.
you. Real estate gets 20% skill, 80% luck.
I really believe that this is one of the best jobs on the world.
Why?
Because
A lot of people wait for the perfect conditions to start, but a lot of people don't realize that starting is the perfect condition.
better than that is impossible to explain.
Okay. Ruben Lopes.
In your accent, it looks cool.
There you go. Or Ruben Lopes.
Ruben Lopes.
You've been a broker. No, you've been a real estate turned broker for 20 plus years.
No, I start. It's long short story. I have different kind of experience.
But always in real estate.
Not always in real estate.
How long has your real estate journey been?
I had a break in 2012,
Okay.
1 year and a half,
Okay.
and then I return. I start 2005, and then I close a company,
Okay, if that's it.
a franchising.
On that,
ERA.
let's start all the way from the beginning, from your real
Yeah,
estate
please.
journey. What's your journey that got you here from real estate agent to being a broker, now owning this agency, which is
I think before
Advisors
I
Portugal.
think before I telling you that my experience in real estate, I think is very important. Behind that,
Okay.
my background. So,
let's start from the beginning.
I was like working in hospitality.
Okay.
I was a bartender in the hotel, and after 1 year, I understood that that was not for me. You know, I was like I feeling like I losing my time there. So real estate was a bet that I did that time. Very risky because you know you're receiving a salary and you pay a house and a car, and you know when you
Yeah.
you go to the
And what year is this?
was in Óbidos in a hotel Marriott
What year?
2005.
So you're working at a Marriott 2005 in hospitality when you decided to transition into real estate.
Yeah,
Okay. And then what happened next?
I go through real estate like an agent, 2 years and a half, or no, 3 years, sorry, with the high on to have a team, to manage a team, to be a
So you went straight
broker.
into managing a team
No,
as a broker?
I was agent, and my goal was always have a team with me.
How long were you an agent before you grew a team?
3 years.
Okay. So relatively quickly.
No, 3 years. Yeah, but after 3 years, I opened my own company
Cool.
with a partner.
Your own brokerage.
Yeah,
Okay.
a franchising, US franchising, ERA.
ERA. Cool.
In Algarve, yeah.
Or otherwise known as ERA.
Yeah, ERA. Yeah.
Cool. So what happened next? What I want to know all the details that led you from there to now owning Advisors Portugal.
It's quite difficult to explain all the details, but was a big journey. Different stages, different ways of work. Because when I work in this franchising, I have a lot of rules, and which is cool. Is nice to have rules, you know, to organize the group.
Yeah.
If no rules, you know, no
Mayhem.
no
Chaos.
Exactly, it's tough. And I work like an agent, and I learn 80% what I know today, like an agent. The experience to be a broker is completely different. You know,
Of course.
your mindset is completely different. You know, your client is the agent, not the final client anymore.
Not the buyers or
sellers.
sellers.
Exactly. So was a path very nice for me because I work in all the sectors on the real estate. So it was nice.
Very nice. So you talked about being a broker and being a real estate agent. The mindset's completely different. What do you mean by that? Like dive deeper into that. What do you mean the mindset's different?
Your head when you are an agent is like getting listings, getting deals, close deals, and
Right.
and when you are a broker and you have a team in your responsibility, is how to give tools to your team
Right.
to be comfortable on the streets. You know, If they don't have the best tools, the best way of work, you don't have success. So your work is not worried about deals or listings. Of course, you talk about that all the time on the meetings, but it's different. It's training the people, is teaching, is help them, is like be a father, you know.
Right. Gotcha. I was thinking the other day about a word, grit. It's passion and perseverance for a very, very, very long time. Grit is the perseverance of something to reach your goal day in and day out, not just for a week, not just for a month, but even not just for a year, but for years.
What is that?
That word grit. Do you think that's more applicable to being an agent or being a broker?
All.
Yeah.
All. I had that all my life. This is not a sprint. Is a marathon. You need to keep going. Your rhythm. A lot of emotions you have in this business.
Right.
Today you close a big deal.
Right.
And you are the best, and you feel great, and you go home, smile on the face while you're driving. And the other day, you have a lot of bad news.
Just rejection.
And this disaster. So you learn how to control these emotions.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think after 20 years, I control quite well now.
Right.
You know, and I have techniques for that.
You want to go into some of those?
For example, if I have a terrible day, like a lot of bad news, a lot of terrible things happen, I go home. I don't work that day.
That's smart.
I need to focus different stuff to do something like that I like that day, and I forget the work.
I completely understand where you're coming from, because I've done many different things, entrepreneurial journeys, and you know, we could dive into that later or another time. But I've been working with you at Advisors Portugal for just over a week. In the first half of that week, I felt like I was crushing it. I was getting listings. I got like a lot of listings right away. I was cold calling a lot of things. And then the other day I came in, I started cold calling, and I ended up doing like 32 calls, I think. And every single one was rejection, but not just rejection, but like agents are sleazy, screw you, I don't like you. Yeah. And it was one of those days. And then that day got me thinking about that exact thing. It's like real estate, I feel like it's 20% skill, 80% mind.
Completely. And you know, that day I talked with Ricardo, my partner, and I told him today Dylan was like crash on the phone, but you know, like 10 clients, no, and was disappointed for him. And for us, it's normal because we know how to understand.
Right.
And you know as well, because I saw you how to do these calls.
Yeah.
And but it's tough. It's part of the business.
It is.
And people don't understand. They need help.
Yeah.
They need help to sell a property.
Yeah.
To have a great promotion, you need a professional.
Yeah.
You know. But
what would you say to the person who says, I don't need a real estate agent who's going to take 5% commission because I could just list it myself?
It's just focusing in the wrong thing. You know, he just focus about how to save 5%. He don't understand. He don't understand this can bring him problems, because we know all the business all the way. You know, sometimes the deal have some details that can destroy your and make you lose money.
That the real estate agent knows.
99% of the normal clients, they don't know. They think they can do your job.
Yeah. So for the real estate agents who are going to listen to this podcast and are having this issue, even myself included personally, and you are sitting there with a buyer on the phone or in person, and they're saying, I don't need you, I could do it myself. How would you try to go about changing their mind?
It's unbelievable when, for example, was 2 days ago, one Monday, and some owner of some property in Nigeria, I don't want to tell the name, but I listen all the conversation, and she told you that I'm not in Portugal, and you ask, but somebody is responsible for your home here in Portugal. If somebody have keys, somebody deal the process in Portugal, and she said, no, nobody is there. I just returned to Portugal in the end of the month, and the first question is, can we explain this person to sell a house is not like this? She believe will be like this to save 5%, but she's not even close to the listing. How's she gonna do?
Yeah.
So we need to make questions to make the clients thinking about what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of mistakes.
I would also add to that as well. I've only been doing this for a week, but something I've learned very quickly is with those kind of clients, I think sometimes you got to know when to call it a day and this client's not good to work with, and when you should keep asking questions. Like, for example, the client that we're specifically talking about when I was on the phone cold calling, I think she's a perfect example of a client who, no matter what we said, we wouldn't have been able to get her to
change their mind.
To sign with us and for us to work with her. And I think
you feel sometimes that with
you feel the
people.
vibe. I think when you feel that vibe, don't use more mental energy that you
know why? Because that person closed the door to agents.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. And you know, that's their loss. That's their loss.
What is this difference? The difference when you are a different agent, you can't accept a no.
Yeah.
And you try. And the most important thing is how you show that you are different.
Yeah, exactly.
How you show what you, this is the main question in 2024.
And that's been a huge thing that I've had to meditate on and figure out myself is how am I different from other agents? And I'm slowly figuring out my strong suits in my areas where when somebody asks me that now, I have a rebuttal. And sometimes they're going to say, yeah, every agent tells me that. And you should have a rebuttal to that objection as well as an agent.
On the phone is difficult to do that.
It should always be in person, I think.
In person.
Yeah.
The main goal on the phone is schedule a meeting.
Yeah.
In the meeting, you're going to show who you are. Okay? You're going to meet a lot of people in your path. But remember, we can adjust ourselves to the person is in front of us. You know, for example, someone who likes boats. I don't have a boat either.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna start a little bit of boats, and I'm gonna start to talk a little bit of that subject.
Right.
That is a passion for them. And if you feel the client feel that you like the same things that he like as well, is a little match there.
Right.
You know, he's gonna trust you more.
Yeah.
Of course, you can fake totally fake. You know, it's not like that. I try to explain to you, but you can talk about I would like to try some trip in the Mediterranean, for example, and start a conversation there.
Yeah.
If you go to some house and you avoid football, you call soccer in US. Yeah. Here is football, but avoid that subject. So that subject, for example, is danger. If you see some
there's
Benfica
a lot of
team,
differing opinions.
it's complicated. But if you see for example, some iron or some golf equipment there, you play golf, for example.
Yeah.
You know, is a nice subject to start to talk with the client.
It's about showing personal interest.
Exactly.
And the other day, the listing I was at yesterday, which by the way, for any agents listening to this, you will know that anytime you go to try to get a listing, it's like getting a job interview. You have to convince them. I feel like a lot of agents take that narcissistic, jerky approach, I'm the best. And they're like, okay, that's what every agent says. And yeah, but I'm the best, And that's just a great way to just not get the deal.
Yeah.
I decided naively, I started with that. I didn't like the way it made me feel. And also I felt like it was I didn't like that narcissistic approach. I think that a big game changer that a lot of people should do is focus on empathy,
Trust.
empathy, listening, and personal interest, the thing you said. Because for
trust.
Example,
imagine, for example, you have your house is the most value thing, material thing that you have. So somebody we're gonna have keys, gonna walk through your home, bring clients. So the main thing is trust.
But I think that
somebody need to trust you
is a side effect of the empathy, the listening, the
starts from that point.
Self-deprecation. For example, yesterday she was like, yeah, I just don't like working with agents. And I'm like, yeah, they're the worst, aren't they? And she started laughing and cracking up, and I completely broke that tension.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then I was like, when I talked, I made sure that everything that came out of my mouth was a question about her or her property.
Yeah.
And I let her do all the talking. And at the end of that, she was so excited to sign the contract. She just needed a proof from the other owner. But like, you know, it was those things that taking that different approach rather than like, I'm the best, I'll sell this. It's like, well, why do you want to sell this? Like, why is this important to you?
I have a quote for that.
Yeah.
You need to be able to touch the person through the phone.
Yeah.
I don't know if this looks good in English, but in Portuguese, you need to touch in some way through the phone to that people.
Yeah.
That person that you talking. Otherwise, you're gonna be another one.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
You need to be different. How to be different? Anyone wanna be different, but you know, you need to have these techniques.
Yeah, exactly.
That we're learning every day, you know,
Yeah.
and all the time changing, you know, all the time. The agents, the new agents. When I start in this area, nobody have nice and good trainings. Like they don't practice. The competition was very weak. We were the kings. We go to outdoors, prospecting new clients, and it was so easy to do listings, and we sell it a lot. Now it's a little bit different. You need to be really good,
right?
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Because
and
you have a lot of competition and a lot of people who know how to work.
Yeah, and you should be good because
of course.
Like another little mindset shift before we change conversations out of real estate, but is something I think about every time I go into one of these in-person meetings. Like this is somebody's livelihood, right? Like this is me to us. It's like, okay, it's a contract signed, it's the listing, there's commission, but you got to think of it also like to this person, this is something that's been in their family probably for many years, and it's a really big deal to sell that, like for them to sell this, and the fact that they're trusting you to sell this for them, it's a big deal. So you should like act accordingly when you're with them as well.
You know what is funny? You have a lot of clients that they give a shot to try to sell, to put in the online to trying to do our job. After a few months, real estate will sell these houses.
Yeah.
Big percent. I don't know the percent, but a lot of clients, when they start, for example, if you do a cold call for someone who put the listing yesterday, you don't want to listen you.
Yeah.
He didn't fail yet.
Yeah, it's true.
When he fail it, and we're gonna feel it, the pain, he's gonna contact you.
Yeah.
If you keep the contacts with this kind of
I just keep following up.
all of them, following up, will be easier to get more listings. You know, and the most difficult clients is these clients that you're contacting now.
Yeah, I know.
You know, the best clients is normal client you met on the restaurant or in the gym.
Yeah,
and they think
just that kind of client takes more time.
Yeah. But this is global.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not like just online leads or outdoor leads. Is all together make this business happen.
Yeah, to me, it's worth contacting the people who I know aren't going to be interested because it's better to shoot and miss than to wait and just let time run out and not take your shot at all. Because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah. For example, people don't understand, but if you have some problem in your car, you're going to try to fix it alone?
No, not me.
If you have some problem of health, you're gonna buy your medication alone, try to do like this work alone?
No.
The same for the houses.
Yeah.
But people don't understand this yet.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
We'll make them.
I think this is more the technology that you acquire, for example, in YouTube and big platforms, make people feel that I know how to do this. They don't know.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot in YouTube.
Yeah.
I love YouTube. I'm YouTube addicted. But we need to understand different areas, you know, are complicated sometimes to do that tasks alone. For example, we have a lot of documentation. Like if you don't control this process, can be a big problem. We are here to sort that.
Yeah, definitely.
And the experience, the years of experience is like crucial for the success here.
Yeah, because it's building a network of people.
Let me make you a question. You have expectations for your business. You want to talk about them?
Expectations for my business within
Financial
real estate?
numbers, like if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah?
Yeah, but like within real estate.
Yeah? You didn't expect this question, yeah?
No, I don't mind. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I'm very competitive. So right away, I want to be the top performer in wherever I'm at.
I like that.
Yeah, it could be as long as you don't get narcissistic or cocky with it, it's a healthy, or it's a good trait to have. So I always try to
In the good way, I
check
understand
my
you.
ego. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a really good book on that. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. I've read it 3 times now.
Yeah.
To just try to keep my ego in check. Make
Ego
sure I'm
destroy
always
a lot of things.
polite, kind, and
Keep
cool
it
to as
simple.
many people as I can be, while also being competitive. So, like for example, if I'm, come in here and I start crushing it, and there's certain agents that might be intimidated or like mad at me for doing better or like getting more things, my approach is to go buy everybody coffee. You know what I mean? To kind of neutralize the situation.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's a whole nother topic that's just kind of like my mindset to it. But yes, as far as hard numbers go, I was running the numbers a couple of days ago. And I know it's a different market here in Portugal, but I still have the mindset from California where I did the math and I was like, if I close 8 deals for $1 million or more, but a listing for $1 million, that's 200,000 euros a year in commission.
Yeah.
That does not seem that difficult to do.
It's not simple.
8 deals for €1 million. I know it's a different market,
Yeah.
but when you just reverse engineer it like that, it didn't seem that difficult.
And 200,000 euros in Portugal, is not the same in US. US is like not much money, but here is a lot of
my goal for the first year is to hit 120,000. My goal for the second year is to hit 200,000. As far as hard
I like
numbers
that
goes.
goals.
And when you reverse engineer it based off of listings, it's 8 to hit 200,000. It's $8 million listings, and to hit 100,000, it's 4.
Sorry, can you repeat?
To hit my goal of 200,000 euros in 1 year, that I would need to sell at least $8 million listings, and to hit my goal for the first year, I would need to sell roughly $4 to $5 million listings.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my goal for the first and second year.
It's cool. I like it. We need to all the time. And you write these goals somewhere? Really?
It's my screensaver.
Okay. I write every year. I write my goals
I do too. It's my screensaver.
in all my business.
Yeah.
All the time.
My
I
goals,
share with people.
Yeah,
I share
I do the same
with people
thing.
around me.
My goals are
To compromise myself with them.
business, personal, family. Those are my goals. Yeah. And I have if you look at my screensaver, they can't see it on the podcast, but I have a date of when I need to hit it by.
Yeah. And can I ask you more questions?
Go for it.
What is your drive?
What is my drive? Like what drives me?
For example, for what you want 120,000 per year? Because this is just paper.
Oh, yeah.
Just money.
It's not the money. It's the person you have to become to get that amount of money. The person you have to become to make that amount of money is a super disciplined person. It's a super hardworking person, and it's a person with a lot of grit. It's not the financial numbers that I care so much about, because I could be comfortable off $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
I could be comfortable off 3, right? My goal is that, and it's going to continue to increase because the person you have to become to reach that number.
You want to build something, yeah?
Myself.
Yourself?
Yeah.
But you need all materials all the time around you.
When I say myself, I don't mean financially or business. I mean just everything myself.
Yeah.
Right? Physically, mentally, as a family person, as a family man, as well as in business. Like the person that I personally have to become to get that amount is why I want to reach that amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say that's my drive.
I'm very competitive too. I think is one of the most. I think is one of the best quality I have. I'm competitive, and this allowed me to grow.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't like doing nothing.
Yeah, me neither.
I know people. I love to be there doing nothing. I don't understand.
I
these
also I
people.
can't. I'll
I don't
go
understand.
crazy.
don't
I have
get it.
ADHD, so I can't sit there and just do nothing.
I can be doing
Yeah.
nothing. It's
Me neither.
impossible.
Me neither.
Even when I gonna be retired one day, I need to have some projects around me.
Well, that's why I
Because-
focus so much on, and I know like a lot of people, like Alex Hormozy and other people on social media personalities say that work-life balance is a joke, but I believe because I don't see a day where I retire because I like working, I think it's so important. That's why I think it's so important. Instead of going through those sprints of hustle where you sacrifice your family, you sacrifice this, I think it's so important to maintain a balance between work and family and physical health and all of these things in my life now, because I'm in the work. I plan on working for the long haul because I enjoy it. I enjoy working. So I don't want to go through these sprints of work like crazy and then these sprints of not work at all and only spend time with family. Instead, for me personally, I think the best thing to do is to balance it all as best as I can consistently over a long period of time. And I feel like you'll reap the same rewards and same results at just different time periods.
Yeah. For your short experience in Portugal,
Yeah.
do you think your accent helps you?
Depends. But yes, overall,
Yeah.
I do.
Why?
I think that the United States has a stigma of just having a lot of money because it's a big society. It's
stigma,
a big
it's like-
ecosystem
it's
of
reality.
money. So I think that when people hear an American accent, they just assume that you have a certain level of money, especially if you're overseas, like here in Portugal. People assume, oh, this guy probably came here to invest in some sort of property or something here in Portugal. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left.
Which is true.
So because of that, I think, yes, there is a certain level of people who are more willing to talk to me within real estate than not because of my accent.
And a lot of people in Portugal speak English.
Yeah,
A lot.
yeah.
Because some other countries, people don't
Yeah.
don't speak. Even speak badly like me. Like with a
No,
lot
you
of mistakes.
speak good. You speak good. You speak good.
Thank you very much.
Mas eu acho que é muito importante falar português porque é de respeito de pessoas
E
aqui.
tu falas sempre em português no início das conversas. In the beginning of
Yeah.
the calls, or
Yeah.
you start always in Portuguese,
Yeah.
and then
To let
You
them
ask-
know that I kind of like the reason
Yeah,
I
yeah,
start
yeah.
in Portuguese
And
is to show a level of kind of like
it's
respect.
cool effort.
Because I don't want to be the ignorant American who just comes here is like
Nah,
talking English.
Yeah.
Like I'm American.
but you
Red,
speak,
white, and blue,
you
baby.
Speak a
You know?
lot already in Portuguese,
Yeah,
and this is
thanks.
very nice. In 7 years, you
Yeah.
living here.
My wife's also Portuguese, so
Yeah.
that helps. So I had a thought I wanted to get your thoughts on. And I think it's applicable in a lot of different areas. But a lot of people wait for the perfect conditions to start. But a lot of people don't realize that starting is the perfect condition.
Better than that is impossible to explain, because sometimes the people have scared to give the step, because this is like open a company to be an agent. It's like but in low level.
Yeah.
Not low in the bad way, but when you have a company, you have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things to pay, and when you are an agent, it's simple.
Well, when you're an agent,
You earn like commissions, but it's so easy to be agent compared with if you own a company.
yeah. So I've started companies.
But it's
before.
like a mini company,
No, I've started companies before, and that's why I love this quote, because like with real estate, you really just have to go all in order to do well. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You really have to go all in to do well. And that's something I've learned in my first week, which is why I've been closing down my other business, slowly transition into this, which is why I've been thinking about this exact thought. Because I'm like, is now a good time to start? But I'm like, don't let that get in my mind, because the best starting is the best condition to start. But anyways, my point of that was saying that with what you said with real estate, it's one of the coolest business models because it's free to start. The only thing it costs you is your time, more or less, right? You got to pay for gas. You got to pay for these little expenses. But other businesses, for example, I started a content agency. I needed a laptop. My laptop's like $5,000. I needed a laptop. I needed software. I needed
Phone.
lead gen. I needed a phone. I needed all these different things. That expenses added up.
Yeah.
My overhead to start my agency, my content agency, I think my overhead flat after ad spend, after content, after all the gear I needed, easily over $10,000, right? You could start with less. You can easily start with less. Don't get me wrong.
An agent like,
But that's what I started with. With an agency, as a real estate agent in the estate market, you need a suit and you really just need a car, and you could do it. You can even do it on a bike, right? A motorcycle. You really just need that because you don't have to pay for anything depending on the agency you're with. If you're with a good agency, they'll pay for your cards. They'll pay for all that stuff that you need. All you need to do is use your time. That's the only currency you need to pay for. And, time is very important, but time is more important the more successful you get. Time is less important for you in the beginning because you don't have the finances. For example, when you're rich, with your time, you can make, your time's worth more money, right? Because you can make X amount of money in X amount of time. So it makes sense to hire a chef. It makes sense to hire a maid. But when you're broke, it doesn't. When you're broke, the money's more important to you because you have less of it. So the only thing you can do in exchange to get to the top is your time. And I feel like that's why being a real estate agent is so cool, because if you just use that currency of time that you have efficiently, and if you use it in well, the rewards you could reap are massive.
You know a reason? Because a lot of people start in this business and then fail.
Yeah, I think it's like 92% or something fail in the first year. And
you know why?
Probably because it's hard.
In Portugal, we don't have a mentality of entrepreneur.
And that statistic was also in the United States. A lot of people there quit too.
But the United States have more people and your schools are more direct and your education at home is like more to open companies.
The mindset's different, but definitely school definitely doesn't rate in the States. School definitely does not teach you to be business minded.
But the mindset is completely different.
The mindset's different as far as society goes a little bit. I think the only reason more entrepreneurs come from the United States is simply because it's a bigger place. Because when you're actually there, there's a lot of negative mindset people. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of overweight, unhealthy people. There's a lot of people, school is literally, it's the society grooming your kids the way they want them to be groomed. I forgot the guy's name who said a quote on school. I forgot his name, but he basically said that school is the best way to create modern day slaves, because they groom people in school to work a 9-to-5 job for the big guy. And that's the same in the States as it is here. I think it's just because there's more people. It is a different mindset because more money flows through the society there. I think that's why there's more entrepreneurs birthed there.
Yeah, when you work for someone, you don't build your dreams. You build the dream of your boss. Yeah. And in the real estate, you don't have boss. Yeah. You don't have boss. You are your own boss. Yeah. And this sometimes can be a problem as well, because when you feel that you are your own boss, you can have the difficult and dangerous thoughts that I don't need to work. I'm the boss. I don't have to work. Yeah. Because I can go just today midday to prospect something, to have some new clients. Tomorrow I can take the day, and this is like the most dangerous in the rookies. Yeah. They don't understand nothing about the business, and they feel like in holidays. And our work here, like brokers, is give a good direction and traction for the new agents. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they don't understand that. Yeah. This guy are trying to control myself. Yeah. Like to control me. But it's not the case. It's just because it's too pressure. A new agent is too precious for us. So we need to teach them like be like close to them. Yeah. To don't have any risk for them to quit. That's why in Advisors Portugal, for example, we don't have many people which quit here. We have low % of people who leave this company. Yeah. And we are proud of that.
Yeah, it's something to be proud of for sure. I think also failing forward. I don't know if you've ever heard of that concept. Yeah. But I think that's something that's really helpful in any industry you're in, but also real estate, because there's a lot of failure, a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
I've only been doing it for like a week, a little bit more than a week. And I've already felt like there's so much more rejection than any other business I've gone into or started. And I think taking that mindset of failing forward, basically finding the best in every situation. So imagine I don't know, this is a stupid example, but imagine your Amazon package comes with nothing inside. And I use this because this really happened to me the other day. Instead of getting instead of getting super annoyed or frustrated with it, like that, you could say that's a failure. How could I fail forward? Well, okay, well now I get the opportunity to learn how to return a package and get the refund for it, for if this ever happens to somebody else. Stupid example, bad example. There's definitely better examples out there. But that's like what I mean by kind of failing forward. Anytime you have a failure, like, okay, what do I learn, or what can I get out of this that can move me or project me forward to fail better, or to actually lead me to my end destination?
One thing will help is like your stage. If you have success in what you're doing, the things start to be automatic. You don't need to put like a lot of effort for things happen. It's a little bit like automatic attraction. I feel that when I was an agent, when I was like making deals, like listings were like I have like a lot of listings, and things come to me,
100%.
And I talk with, and I show. I don't wanna. I don't need to pretend. I was like in high position, right. Like I was so. I pass my energy. That's why maybe the people believe me, and let's give.
That's exactly
a chance to this guy.
Right, and it's.
I don't know if
I call it the abundance mindset. There's the abundance mindset and then the broke-minded mindset, and the abundance mindset is exactly that. And without sounding all like woohoo, it's true. Like for example, when I'm in a bad mood or I'm discouraged or something, you felt that energy, right? The other day, you're like, I felt the energy.
Don't make calls when you feel like that.
It's the same thing. Energy is. You could pass on energy, not in like a woohoo way, but like when somebody's in a bad mood, you feel that energy. You could tell they're in a bad mood. When somebody's excited, you could tell. That's the passage of energy. It's the same thing with the abundance mindset. When you need a sale, you're gonna lose a sale because you as much as you try not to, you give it. You're
gonna show you are desperate. In the beginning of our conversation, I told you when I have bad days, I know how to control this.
Yeah, that's smart. That's good that you have that.
Stop. I don't want to lose opportunities to talk with someone. That person maybe represent for me that business 10, 15, 20,000, 50,000.
That's great.
And because if I don't feel the energy, I don't want to talk. I prefer talk next day.
Yeah. No, it's a great tactic.
I learned that for me works. For other people, I don't know. But
I did the same thing that day when it wasn't my day. I just I went home and I tried so hard not to, because intrusive thoughts come into your mind like, oh man, is real estate really for me? Is this going to work? Oh man, is this always going to be like this? I got to find something else. How am I going to provide for my family? Like these are all the thoughts that come into your mind just from that morning, like at least for me. And I was like, I just need to stop thinking about this. I just need to enjoy my time right now, like with my family, try to chill. I had a bad night's of sleep, a lot of rejection today, just like, stop being so dramatic, chill. And then the next day I woke up, I was back to normal. I was like, okay, let's go crush it.
I really believe that this is one of the best jobs on the world.
Why?
I feel that because when I work in hospitality, I receive per month like 800 or something like that. I think was 700 and something, not 800 at that moment. It was 2005, and I have the guarantee. I will each month receive 750 or 800. I don't remember exactly the number.
Right.
But I have this. I feel safe because I'm gonna receive 700.
Yeah.
When I changed to real estate, I start. The beginning was a fight to start. I just started making money after 5 months.
Yeah.
In the 6 months, I never stop after that. But after that, second year. The feeling that you have like in the pipeline, like 6, 7, 8,000 to receive all the time. You have, but different deals.
Right.
But you know that 20 of these months you're gonna have the final deed of some deal that you're gonna receive 2,000,
Right.
and then after 1 week you're gonna receive more 3,000, and and I start thinking all the time, I feel safer now than when I work in the hospitality, in the hotel. You understand?
I think
You
it's
need
that
to build your
transition.
pipeline. You need to build your savings, pipeline savings.
And I think the reason
that feeling,
no, go.
that feeling will allow you to grow more and more and understand the entrepreneurial business that I feel that like an agent, I feel now like a broker and other business. I need to feel that all the time I have money come to the account to make you comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not the issue anymore.
Yeah.
I
think the reason the failure rate's so high with real estate is because it's the transition period that's really difficult. The transition from where you're currently at to actually having a pipeline full of leads and deals ready to close, because that period is really difficult to get through, and that period takes a lot of time. And everyone, especially with social media, everyone's into that like instant gratification thing. And I'm even guilty of this. I've been only in it for a week. I'm like, man, when am I going to close my first deal? And then I listen to something about other people in this field. It's like, it could take 6 months or more before you land your first deal. You know what I mean? But
It's true.
It's that whole period that's really, really difficult. And I think that's why the failure rate or the churn rate is so high, because people don't want to wait that long and put in so much work within that time frame. Because it can get stressful. You can get to a point where you're like, especially when you're transitioning from one business or to the other, one job to real estate, you could be like to a point where you're trying to figure out how you're going to pay for gas the next day to get to the listing. You know what I mean? And you got to embrace those moments, because it's going to be part of your journey, part of your story. And the harder it is now, the harder the phase that you're in now is, the better the story is going to be.
I was there already.
Yeah.
If you turn me around, I don't have €1 in my pocket when I started this business. And you know what I learned from that? I don't want to be there again.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, the future. Sometimes you can have problems in your life and you can this change so fast,
Yeah.
But I want to fight to don't feel that it's like a feeling very, very weird.
Yeah.
You don't have any money. And my parents
I've
asked
been
me,
there.
"You are
No,
okay?
trust me. I've been there.
You are okay, Ruben? You are okay?" I was working in commissions in that agent, that moment. I had no money. I split the house with a friend, pay my bills, and then no money for nothing. Like some food and nothing.
Yeah.
Was like very, very difficult. And I don't want to come back there.
Yeah.
And I was proud, my parents called me and said, no, I'm okay. I was not okay.
No. Yeah.
But I learned.
What did you do in those situations, like when you needed gas to go to your next listing or whatever? How did you go about that?
I was like all the time in the red line, like all the time, like some gas, diesel in my car. I never was in the moment that I don't have any gas.
Yeah.
But sometimes I want to drink a coffee, and I just had €5 in my pocket, and I thinking if I drink a coffee, this money, will I need for something to put gasoline or gas, diesel in that moment. But was struggling moments that I had. The agent that moment, they have some pocket money.
Mm-hmm.
If I do some number of listings, they give me €300.
Oh, that's cool.
So was a
That's
help
cool.
that
So you just had to try to get listings at first.
And we had these already here before. Now we stop with that.
Why'd you stop?
Because the people don't give a damn about the €300. It's not like, for us, it's not the way to give money. Like, it was like to try to motivate the agents to do more listings.
Yeah.
But the best agents, the drive is not that. It's not this 300. It's like they have the target in the final deal. You know. So in that moment, I had this kind of help me to, because I was very young. I had 20 years old. 20 years old.
Yeah. No, I get it. I've been there. I have a wife and kid, and I've been there.
Yeah.
And there's even times now where sometimes I go there, drop down, and then, money comes and it comes and goes fast.
Yeah.
It can come in fast. It can go fast. I've closed.
Money is like a river.
I have closed $10,000 before on one Zoom call. And I've also lost more than that in a matter of minutes. So it can come and it can go so fast.
Yeah. But I learned a lot from that moment, because once I told this story already. I was viewing a house showing the house to a client, and the listing. I'm gonna tell correct. The listing was my colleague. I have the listing and I have the buyer. No, I had the listing and my colleague have the buyer, and he showed the house. I was there, and the buyer told him, Ricardo, I wanna make an offer, and Ricardo was like, with no money like me. We were like we completely broke, and Ricardo said like, we don't accept offers. It's like, is the asking price. If you want this house, is for the asking price. And so I don't gonna buy it. Okay, so good luck.
Yeah.
And after the buyer goes to his way, I ask Ricardo, you are crazy, man. We have no money, man. Mm-hmm. I know, if you have, tell me, but I have no money, man. I need to close this deal. I said, I have no money either, but this guy gonna call me later. You know the difference between him and me? I was a kid, 20 years old.
Yeah.
He had 30 years old. He had business before. He had discotheques. He had was bankrupt, but he had the experience to control his emotions. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot from that.
Yeah.
And next day we had offer for asking price.
It's awesome.
Cash, fast money. Yeah,
Love
it was
it.
like the first deals that I was in the bad moment. And then after that, I did this a lot, secure, save, about my ideas. No, don't show emotions. Never tell to no one, I'm bad in the bad moments. No, never. You are never in the bad moment.
Yeah, I like that. What's the biggest listing you've ever closed?
2 million and I think 2,500,000 was like a warehouse.
Which here in Portugal would be the equivalent of like 10 million in the US, as far as listing goes, would you say?
Yeah.
Because the buyers are different, right?
The buyers are completely different. This is completely different market.
Right.
Maybe you can have some Portuguese
So
clients
here, a
can
listing
afford.
for 2 million is probably the equivalent of a $10 million listing.
Yeah. At that moment, it was 2007, I think.
Oh,
And
so even
was for
more
a
than.
big family, rich family. The owners of The Sun, the newspaper, The Sun. They bought a warehouse and land in the Lourinhã, next to Areia Branca beach. And we closed that deal there. Was unbelievable. Right. Before I opened my own company, my own real estate.
You said that real estate's one of the best jobs you think you get into. Now there's things nowadays that are called high ticket sales, for example, where you could stay at home, take sales calls from your computer. You could sell something for $5,000, $10,000, get the lead straight to you, and you could make a commission of $2,500 on that from home. And you could have 5-10 calls a day doing that. What would you say to the person who's like, why don't I just do that instead of getting into real estate?
One thing that attracted me in real estate, I'm not all the time in the same place. This is a prison. Work at home is completely, for me, is impossible. I don't work at home. Home is family time and pleasure time. I of course I pick up some calls, but I don't work at home.
Right. But what would you say that?
For example, I have a project for a brand that we represent that brand. I do some work at home, but it's not work for me. I don't feel that this is like work.
Yeah.
Solo stove. So we use it's a US brand. We use is pleasure for us, cooking there, like be around the fire pit, and the same time we making money from that. So it's not work for me, okay? But work like doing files, emails. I don't do this at home. That's why I built my home and I didn't do office. And real estate allowed you to meet a lot of people. Meet or met.
Yeah, and you know what they say, your network is your net worth.
Sorry.
They say your network is your net worth.
Yeah, exactly. If you meet a lot of people every day, you're gonna have more opportunities to grow with your network.
Yeah, I think that like business models like that are very attractive.
But sorry, you prefer to work at home, for example? You made me this question, but you prefer to work at home on the computer all day there, like selling?
I like a mix of the both. I do enjoy working from home personally.
Yeah.
I enjoy working from home, but I also very much recently enjoyed having things to do, places to be. You know what I mean? But I still do like working from home. But like, for example, these business models are very attractive because you can do that and you could still make a lot of money. Like I know a guy, I don't care. His name's Blake. He lives in the States. He made $100,000 in 3 months doing this exact model, high ticket sales. And it's very attractive. But I think the only thing that's like, it's like, okay, why don't all of us just go do that? Because the reason I bring this up, by the way, just a side note, is because in real estate, I've seen a lot of comments under real estate content on social media being like, just get into this or this or this because it's way easier, big money, easier, faster deals. And it's luring. It's like alluring to want to do that. It's attractive. But I think that with real estate, it's a different ball game because you can close small deals here and there where it's like, you make 2,000 euros, 4,000 euros, 10,000 euros commission, which, okay, whatever. Compared to business models like that, you can be making 10 to 20 grand a month. But you also have those $1 million, $2 million listings that if you close, it's like $40,000, $50,000 commissions. You know what I mean?
If you have that listings, you have a probability to close that deals.
Like, for example, I have a listing in Cascais. It's going to be around 2 million, right? If maybe less. Depends when the renovations are done.
150,000.
Yeah. That'll be a big commission.
You can buy a Tesla in cash.
$188 a month. Just kidding. Inside joke. And with that business model, it's a little bit more consistent and it's taking a lot of phone calls. But you're closing, I close one deal and make, what would that be off $1 million? It would be almost $45,000 commission off of $1 million listing, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So if it's two, that's like $80,000-$90,000 off of one deal, right? That would be 4 months of work doing that if you're really good at that.
To sell that kind of deals, you need to have a lot of listings, a lot.
Why?
Because you should control this business through the offer you have. Okay, you need to have offer.
You mean you need if you're going to have $1 million listing, you're going to need a lot of $1 million listings, or you're just going to need a lot of listings in general?
In general, in that kind of market, high market, because
when you asked me my goals earlier, my goals is to be in the luxury real estate market. So I want to be in the $800,000, $1 million or plus market. That's what I want to be.
We have all the tools and conditions here in Visas Portugal to work that kind of market.
That's the market I want to be in.
I don't want to be in low ticket
market.
We have contacts outside of the country, different kind of countries, London, US, France, Brazil.
Yeah.
So we have these kind of contacts outside. We invest a lot in our image, our brand. Now we're gonna do the first step to have the first franchising in our brand. We talked about that before in Algarve. So things gonna be easier for our agents.
Good.
We're gonna have more and more conditions here. But at the moment, for example, if you sit to compete for some listing, KW, Remax, 121. You do more than all of these brands. If you think about that. Because you don't need to pay nothing. Like I told you before. And that agents there, I'm talking with an agent that you need to pay everything.
Yeah.
So why you don't do a movie for this house? I need to pay everything.
Yeah.
So they don't do.
For somebody who, like myself or other agents, who want to step into the luxury real estate market, $1 million listings or more, what advice do you have for them?
Start to play golf every day with them. Go to clubhouses.
Yeah.
Be one of them. If you are not one of them, you're not gonna sell.
Is that the
this kind
best?
of houses.
What's the best way to get listings in that market?
You need to mix in this high society, because if you are not high society like them, they don't want to trust you to give their homes to you. You need to be one of them. If you don't are one of them, you need to pretend. And a lot of agents do that. Pretend be one of them, and they are not one of them.
And for the agents who are like, okay, but I'm on the ground floor. I'm on the ground floor. I can't afford gas. I can't afford to go play golf with these guys. I can't afford this and that.
Yeah.
What would you recommend then? Just knocking on doors and cold calling?
I started playing golf in 2005 when I started working in real estate.
Okay.
Because of real estate.
Gotcha.
I met a lot of people on the golf course.
And outside of that,
sometimes I don't have money to play in the golf course. I go to the driving range. I don't even have money for some balls to drive for the driving range. I was in the putting green and meeting people, giving some cards. Is a resort called Praia del Rei. I start there, and I did a lot of deals there. A lot.
What about door knocking? What about going in really luxury places and door knocking?
I door knocking everywhere. Was my main...
Even houses that didn't have for sale signs, you would door knock and ask, are you willing to sell this house?
Well dressed, you knock the door, present yourself with charisma, like charismatic,
Yeah,
like,
you go with charisma and you go up.
No scares.
What would you recommend? Knocking the door and being like, hey, how's it going? I just wanted to let you know I'm a real estate agent. I'm working in this area. You have such a beautiful house. I know you're not selling it right now, but I think I'd get $14 million for this. Do you think you'd be open to selling?
It would be easier than on the phone.
Really?
Much easier. Because the people can see you, can smell your expensive perfume, can see your watch. On the phone, she can see that nothing. They can see that on the phone.
Yeah.
When you're difficult on the phone is 90%. Personally, like how you are, 10%.
10% what? Rejection?
Less 80% of difficult.
Oh, gotcha.
Objections.
So you're saying the way I'm going about getting listings is the most difficult way? By just cold calling?
Yeah. You can explore that part like I told you before. Yeah. And then door knocking is like my favorite. It's not I love, but the results make me like the easiest way that is door knocking, because you're gonna feel, like I feel before when I door knocking every day. I feel like, oh my God.
How many listings did you get when you were door knocking every day?
A lot. But the market was different. We need to have more listings to sell it. Was the seller market, was not buyer. Now we are in the buyer market, buyer stage. So I had like 80 listings, 90 listings. But you need to have this kind of listings to sell it. Now you just need to have like 15, 20 listings to start like being like a real agent, And when you start speaking with every day with 15 people, this is the most simple rule that I can teach to someone.
How would you go about speaking?
Speak with 15 people per day.
How do you go about doing that?
Never speak before.
How do you go about doing that? What's your
approach? On the street, knocking
door
doors.
Knocking.
If the people are not outside of home, if the people are inside, you knock the door and ask. You don't want to sell nothing. Difficult is when you try to sell, on the door. You knock and try to sell. You don't sell nothing. You have clients to buy there.
Right.
In the neighborhood. So the first approach is like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
I
We're gonna
know.
go knock on some doors. Let's go.
And I go
Let's
with
go to
you. I
Cascais
go
and
with
knock
you,
on
man.
some doors.
I go with you. No problem. I do this like all the time with agents.
Beautiful.
Yeah.